If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough, believes in you, hard enough and long enough, before you knew it, someone else would think, if he can do it, I can do it. Making it two whole people who believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, there's bound to be some other person who believes in making it a threesome. Making it three people you can say believe in me. And if three whole people, why not four? And if four whole people, why not more and more and more? And when all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, it stands to reason you yourself will start to see what everybody sees in you. And maybe even you can believe in you too.
All right. Gary always sent a super chat for me to watch that, assumably in reference to the fact that I was tweeting about all the people who believe in me. How everybody believes in me so big much, and all that belief is going to create a giant spirit bomb for me to throw at the world. Anyway, you know, in like a peaceful way, like a peace bomb type thing. Not explosive. All right, I stream on in order to let me know that Gary I had forgotten that Gary always chat. Now, I happened to be, I don't think he knew, I happened to be reading through the entire chat at that moment. So it was probably about, except that it killed my audio, and there didn't seem to be a way to bring it back. So, note taken. No phone calls during the live stream. I need to get two phones. I need a second phone. I need to have a stream phone and a regular phone, but there's no way I could afford that even remotely. I can barely afford the phone I've got. It sounded like it might be Bird getting home, actually. Well, I went and watched that video Gary always wanted me to watch. Doesn't seem like Gary always has actually made it back to the live stream yet, so it's unfortunate he missed the live of that, but it happened. So shouts out to Gary always. Anybody else wants me to do anything else, let me know, you know, with money. Otherwise, I'm working on my own stuff. I'm working on, I don't know what I'm going to work on next. I finished the thing I was most worried about was that Patreon DM that I tackled in the last stream. I guess I'll wait to see if Bird comes in here and hangs out. You saw it? Good. Good. there's a moment in there where he says, "Why not make it a threesome?" And I was like, "I see what you did there. I see what you did. Jim. You really snuck that in there. It's like supposed to be this wholesome song, but the choice of words. I said phrasing in my mind." And after that bar, it's hard not to think of the rest of the song about it just being about an orgy. I don't know if that's the normal. I keep putting the camera over here, but it keeps standing over here. Check out these otters. That's Hana and Kotaro. They're otters. Cute fucking animal. Otters are evil? No. Otters are fucking adorable. Look at this fucking thing. They do make horrifying noises though. Damn, that's a cute otter. Hmm. Gary, this is actually fascinating to read from you. Gary said, what I said about that person on Patreon got you thinking. Gary was surprised to find that he'd been subscribed to Substack for 3 years and change now. At $7 a month, that means giving Trixie $266, not including super chats or Patreon payments. I don't know how to feel about this. Please no, just give me a big house on top of a big hill and make it illegal to knock on my door. No power, please. In response to Ellen saying he would have a position in the New World Order. $266. So, that's like the cost of like a console. Well, not anymore. Maybe it's the cost of like a retro console. What's another like relatable thing that costs? Well, if we include all the super chats and everything, it's at least 500. So we're gonna go ahead and say $500. It's like a PS5. You basically like bought a PS5 worth of Trixie content. Do you think you get as much enjoyment out of my content as you would have gotten out of a PS5? I guess that's the question you have to ask yourself as a value judgment. What do you guys have the most fun doing outside of watching these streams? Like, I assume this is probably not the highlight of your day. It's more of like a decompression, sitting around, chilling type of a thing. Like, what's going on when shit's hype? Me, this kind of is I get myself really worked up to do these because I'm trying to be entertaining the whole time. I'm trying to make it myself feel like I'm talking to a large number of people at once. But I also stream all the time, so I'm not trying to always be in the same mode, you know? I feel like I want to try to get really experimental with the streams and what is considered on-stream behavior for somebody who's going like all day, you know? Kind of coming in and out. Equivalent to 6 units of college courses at my local college, community college. Definitely learn more from your content than you would have taken 2 classes anywhere. I agree with that. I've learned more from making my content than I have from anything else. Mostly been chilling and watching YouTube lately, sometimes playing games with some friends. What games though? Me and Bird play Helldivers 2 sometimes. The last time we played though, when we were on stream, like trying to talk and play it at the same time when I hadn't played in a while, I was like, this game takes a lot more concentration than, like it would be different if I had been playing it regularly to the point that it felt natural, but like trying to get back used to the controls, I was like, I forgot what this game is, you know? But it's very fun. Otherwise, that's the only multiplayer game I've played recently. Hard to hear me? I'll be louder. You've played Killing Floor, Orange Juice, Golf with Your Friends. Right now they're really into Monhun, but I don't own that. I've never been able to, that game just seems so involved to me. I never heard of Killing Floor, I don't think. I think I've heard of Orange Juice. Golf with Your Friends sounds self-explanatory. talking about? On gameplay. I think I understand what type of game that is. What are the odds of me typing Geek Studio and you streaming? Oh yeah, everybody says hi because I've been streaming a lot. Yeah, I've been streaming constantly pretty much for most of this month. It started last month on our way back from C2E2 because Mint Salad had been IRL streaming pretty much the whole weekend. And Bird and I were like, we gotta start doing this. And then we blew a tire on our way to our campsite, like 10 minutes away from our campsite, on our way to a place in Ohio, right as the sun was setting. And we were just so infuriated. And Bird was like, turn the fucking camera on, let's stream it. And I think we made like $60 that night, which was very lucky because if we hadn't done that night, I've probably explained this on the stream a couple times, but the way YouTube pays you is that you get paid for whatever you made, whatever I made this month in May, I get paid on June 22nd. So on May 22nd, I received all the money from April. And if not for having made that extra $60 right at the end, I would have been kind of fucked when it came time for my bills at the end of this month. Like, because I only made like $150 in ad revenue before, that month. So before starting the stream, I was making $150 on YouTube a month. This month, let's find out. Now this data is not up to date because it usually is like 2 days behind, but I believe it should at least have the last day that I made a pretty good amount. Okay, so according to this, in the month of May, I've estimated $1,470.60, and that is up through Wednesday, which was yesterday. So yeah, we've got yesterday accounted here. So I've made about $1,500 this month by doing these vertical streams all the time. Oh yeah, Anon user pointing out Snob made a follow-up video. Yeah, he literally admitted that nobody had sent him any money and that I had made considerably more money. So he basically said, "Hey, I'm losing. What the hell, guys? Why are you letting me lose?" And as far as I know, his audience is still letting him lose. So I don't think it's going to be too hard to bowl over that Anime Snob, but at the same time, it's remained precarious for me because that $1,500 doesn't show up for me until the 22nd of June, and I've got very little money to last me until then. So if you wanted to send me money in a way that I would be able to use it immediately, Cash App is my favorite, and Venmo and Cash App. I like Venmo more, actually. They're both good. I'm Golden Witch Fire on both of those. You missed the context? What? Bird has really good content brain for someone who only does it on the side currently. I think Ellen literally just said that without context, Bird. I don't think that... I hadn't mentioned you at all. Bird has really good content brain for someone who only does it on the side currently. Oh, you're talking about because of him saying to... turn on the camera when the tire blew. Well, his mentality is just like, we should just be streaming constantly. And that is probably true. It should probably just always be streaming because, ultimately, even if I left the room and I just left it going, people could come in, determine that nothing was happening, and leave. And then, because of the way YouTube recommends these streams where they keep coming back through the, they keep coming back through the recommendations. If that person is just thumbing through later and now I'm doing something, they'll come back. So it does kind of almost make sense to literally never stop the stream. But speaking personally, a camera does something to me. I don't behave the same way on camera as I do off camera. You know, like even if I'm being like kind of weird or I'm not like performing directly to the camera, I'm still very cognizant of the fact that I'm on camera. You know, I can't turn that off. So it can be exhausting to just have that part of your mind that's constantly checking to make sure every single thing that you do is part of your on camera persona, you know? So, yeah. Updating the stream name through the day would help. No, yeah, probably. The only difficulty with that is you can't do it on mobile, like, because I stream through the phone, but you have to go to the desktop or the laptop to actually change the name of the stream. Very strange. Don't know why that's a thing. There's a few things I don't like about the vertical streams, but there's more stuff. They're just so much more beneficial because of the discoverability than the horizontal ones. It's so much easier to ignore a stream that doesn't literally just start because you are scrolling, you know. So it is pretty much the ultimate meta for streaming, I think, and you know, it's addicting for someone like me who has enough energy to stream for a large part of the day. Uh, you know, I the only thing that used to hold me back is that I felt very self-conscious about my process for a lot of my early career, where I felt like I didn't want people to see the way I go about writing, because I tend to write in like fits and spurts where I'll sit down, I'll write a bit, and then I get up and I like walk around and I go do other things, and then I come back and I'm typically thinking about it the whole time. And then, you know, when I realize what I want to say, I kind of rush back and I keep writing. And like that whole process involved a lot of self-doubt before, you know. It's a lot easier for me now to like confidently understand what my process looks like and how I could show it to people. And also it's just a lot faster and a lot better. But even if you've watched like my editing streams, like it's like the actual decision making happens really fast, where like I get in, I listen to the thing, I think about what I want, I go try to find something I think might work, I find something almost immediately, I make the edit almost immediately, and then that edit's done. But there's so many times where I'll make a few edits and then I'm kind of like, all right, well, I really don't want to have to figure out what I'm doing for this next sentence, so let's talk about something else. And then maybe somebody will suggest something that pulls me back in, and I'm like, oh shit, that is a good idea, you know. But like, yeah, like that's always been kind of my process, and being self-conscious about that drove me away from wanting to stream myself doing art, you know, actually doing the other aspects of the job, because I don't think being just a streamer would endear people to me enough to think that I'm like a legitimately talented, you know, as like an artist. It's yeah. Let's talk about how cool I am more. Let's Bird wants more talk about how cool Bird is. All right, Bird. Bird is cool because Bird is the word, and the word is God. And in the beginning, there was the bird. um, Bird is I'm thinking about as a content creator. I'm trying to pitch. Whenever I try to pitch Bird, I'm always like, Bird is the coolest person you will ever meet. And it's like, what if I never meet him? And I'm like, shit. Fuck. I don't want you to never meet him. Your life would be so much better just to. I've seen people just cross paths with Bird and change the way they go about their lives. Like, I've literally seen someone meet Bird like once and then like change their whole mindset about life, you know. Like I just think he's an inspiring person. That's generally I would describe him as inspiring, and he also tends to be good at things. Yeah. He hyper competent is the word I like to use. I consider myself regular competent. Like my skills are being good at speaking, you know, being good at writing, but that took a lot of practice. That took a lot of it took a lot of developing brain pathways around doing these things well. It's not that I could just do something else to that level. I would have to spend as much time learning it. And I'm competent. I learn at a normal speed. I figure things out one step at a time. Bird is hyper competent in the sense that he figures out most of it at the same time. He'll kind of look around, be given you could just give him the manual and he can read the manual and understand the manual. I'm not that type of person. I open up the manual, I look at the headers, I look for the information I want right now, and I keep going back to it, re-referencing it, taking it one step at a time, slowly, Bird's like, step in the room, assess the situation, get it done. Simple as that. Gary always at $2 says, rant about Zelda, I guess. Sup, Bird. Okay, Zelda. Shit, yeah. Is there new Zelda coming out anytime soon? Zelda soon, I quote, with question mark. The Legend of Zelda games in 2024 should have you worried. That's the stupidest sentence I've ever heard in my fucking life. Screen rant? What the fuck? Stop it. Stop it. Okay. That was a bad thing. That was a bad search query. Well, Zelda takes me back, to my childhood. Because Ocarina of Time is like the first game with a story that I ever saw. And maybe the first time that a story ever it occurred. I feel like I didn't understand story until Ocarina of Time. Just that one bit where Link goes to the future and they have to explain everything that's happened to him, and then you see everything that's happened to the place you had been before. It was like, oh my god, time ravaged the nostalgic place I had been. It's the most nostalgic piece of media, I think. I think Ocarina of Time is built in to be the most nostalgic thing that could exist, and probably will be, for my generation in perpetuity, the most nostalgic thing. And so after that, I played all the other ones for the most part. I never played Skyward Sword. I still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom either. And Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks I have not really played either. But otherwise, I have played all of them. My favorites are The Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time and the original game and I still haven't really played that much of Majora's Mask, actually. I've never got very far into it. I don't like Twilight Princess. I strongly dislike Twilight Princess, but it's my brother's favorite. I'm trying to think of the other Zeldas. Four Swords Adventures? I don't know. I feel like there was another favorite that I'm forgetting. I never finished A Link Between Worlds. I like A Link to the Past. Zelda 2 is not my jam. I never beat Oracle of Seasons and never played Ages, or maybe the other way around, I don't remember. Screen Rant is hysterically terrible as an institution. That's the impression I got from what I just went through. I literally just typed Zelda soon ? Into Google, and the first result said, Zelda games in 2024 should make you worried. And I was like, what even Zelda games are you talking about? Is this an announcement of a game? And it was just pictures of Tears of the Kingdom. So I was like, are you trying to tell me I should be worried about the games I've already played? What are you... is just such an incredibly stupid. Like it literally is just, hey, Zelda fans, be upset. Hey, Zelda fans, be upset, and it worked. But it didn't make me upset at Zelda. It made me upset at you. You usually get to a point where you can't figure out what to do and get mad. That's what strategy guides are for. See, I grew up mostly watching my brother and my cousin play video games. So I would print out the strategy guides and read them to them. And so anytime they got stuck, you know, they'd ask me what to do, and I would flip through my booklets and I'd tell them what to do. So I didn't actually play through most of the Zelda games myself all the way through until I was an adult. And, you know, if I really got stuck on something, yeah, you just fire up game FAQs and you check that shit out. If somebody tells you that, like, they beat Zelda 1 without ever using a guide, they are either lying or they spent hundreds of hours doing that in their childhood. And if so, they can definitely prove it to you because they will know, they'll probably still know how to do it, you know? They will not have forgotten how to beat Zelda 1. Whereas I can go back and play it again and still find I could play that game 5 times and probably still end up having to look up what the fuck to do next at some point. Bird beat Zelda 1 without using a guide. You used the guide for me, yeah, exactly. Well, I had a whole app. There's literally an entire Zelda 1 app that's incredibly, it's like by far the best version of a strategy guide I have ever experienced was the fucking app for Zelda 1. Bird also says Tears of the Kingdom is good. He's only played Zelda 1 and Tears of the Kingdom, but he likes Tears of the Kingdom. Zelda 1 was kind of a fucking nightmare. He made it to the end, though. Through sheer perseverance, force of will. You could watch that whole series, Bird Friends Play. Oh god, I forgot to put that in the link tree list of links. I gotta add that to my link tree because we haven't posted there in like a year and a half, but there's an entire Bird Plays Zelda for the first time playthrough on Bird Friends Play, heavily edited, so it's just like 20 minutes of raw fun or something like that. Maybe it's a little longer than that. I think I released like a somewhat edited version and then a super edited version. So there's one that's like a couple hours long and then one that's like 20 minutes long. There's 2 different edits of but both of them are edited. There's no like just unbroken footage because I cut out all the boring stuff and you know. So yeah, you should check that out. I put a lot of work into it and I think it's good. And then we were doing Dark Souls 3, and I think we actually recorded the entire Dark Souls 3 playthrough, and I just didn't edit very much of it yet. I edited like a few videos, but then we started traveling a whole lot. Standard burger. No, this is a Stremburger. Stremburger? Whatever I called it. Whatever I titled this one. Oh, it's 3:08. I'm getting hungry. I need to eat more of these wheat thins, I guess. My mom pawned off some wheat thins on me. I was like, do you not like them? And she was just like, no. They're not great. What is in this shit? Whole grain wheat flour, canola oil, sugar, cornstarch, malt syrup, salt, refiner's syrup, and leavening. It definitely tastes like sugar and salt more than anything else, and cornstarch. I mean, I guess I taste all of that stuff, but it's just a very like overbearing flavor. It's like if you were trying to dance around MSG, like come as close as you can without hitting the umami flavor palette or something. I don't know. Edon Gold Rear with 6 of, I have no idea what that currency is. That is, it looks like 2 snakes hugging is the, never seen it before, but thank you. Rant about times you thought about going to Japan. Like every time I've ever thought about going to Japan, I've thought about it many times. Well, I mean, I've never really had the opportunity to do it. So I've never thought about it in like a serious consideration type of a way where it's like, oh, I'm really like planning a trip to Japan or anything like that. I have stopped through Japan on the way to the Philippines once. But all I saw was the Narita airport. So they have every stewardess is unbelievably beautiful that you see in that airport. That's most of what I remember. And then I guess when I was a little kid, I didn't know the difference between Japan and China. So like I was under the impression that shows like Power Rangers like came from China, and so I was interested in going there even when I was like 3, of going to the east, to the land of where Power Rangers comes from, you know. By the time of Pokemon, I understood, or even Godzilla, probably. I was probably learning about Godzilla movies where I really came to distinguish Japan. My interests have been Japanese for a long time, you know. It was like Power Rangers. I had a little stint with Beast Wars being like my favorite thing, which is almost pseudo-Japanese, his Transformers franchise. Then I was really into Godzilla and then really into Pokemon for a long time. And pretty much my whole identity was being into those things throughout my childhood. So, like, yeah, even though I didn't really understand Japanese culture or like how these shows related to being from Japan, eventually anime. You know, eventually Adult Swim made the anime block, the Anime Invasion magazine came out. My cousin sort of explained to me, like, yeah, it's all these cartoons from Japan. They call it Japanime or anime. And I was like, anime sounds better. Let's not call it Japanime anymore. I'm glad history won that war. I don't know what the fuck I meant by saying that phrase that way. I'm glad glad history reflects my desires. So yeah, I've like kind of always wanted to go to Japan. But the more I learned about their culture, the more I felt like I wanted to, like, there was definitely a period where I felt like I wanted to live there. But now that I understand how different Japanese culture is from American culture, it's hard for me to imagine myself fitting in easily there unless I was maybe like a celebrity or something. But I just can't imagine being regarded as a normal person and like, not that I am here necessarily, you know, so maybe it wouldn't be too different, but at least here I don't have a language barrier. At least here, it's a big open country with lots of space to run around and like, you know, I just feel like Japan's this little quiet, you know, place of people who are all kind of trying to do similar things to one another. And as an outsider going into that feels strange to me, you know, other than just to check it out, you know, and kind of indulge as a tourist. But what I'd really like to do is to backpack across Japan and just like look at the whole place, you know. You'll Venmo me $10 to watch a video? Alright, how long is the video? If it's less than 15 minutes, we can do this. If it's longer than that, I don't know. How do I, oh right. I'm streaming from my phone. That's also where I would check my Venmo. I guess just tell me the video and I'll take your word for it that you Venmo'd me $10. Just let me know what it's called. Oh, hey, another super chat from June 1999. We'll answer this while I wait on that link. I worded this wrong last time. JBP says artists are at the edge of understanding / reality, turning unknown into slightly known. I initially said artists are beyond reality, not what I meant. Thoughts? Okay, interesting. At the edge of understanding, turning the unknown into the slightly known. Yeah, I can relate to that. So I kind of look at it like to get a little bit religious, I guess. The way I look at the universe is like it's one big superorganism where everything that happens has consequences for everything else. So like it's safest to think of it as one big interconnected web. And if I think of it that way, what would be the goal? Like I myself am kind of a collection of like a bunch of little small microorganisms kind of deciding that they have a goal together and so working together. So if all the universe is just a bunch of crazy disparate elements all kind of working in concert to realize a goal, what the fuck is the goal? Evolution seems to be the goal, and maybe this is something I can only projection because of it's a human perspective, and that's what is so it's what created us, you know. But to me, it seems like constantly running experiments. Evolution is basically like science on the level of cells, right? Cells performing science on themselves to try for different results. You know, DNA doing science over generations. It's why we understand science, because our body does it. And every creature does it. Every living creature does science without intent. Sometimes with intent, but often without intent. So, like to me, that the whole idea of like science of constantly learning new things, of putting all this data in and trying to figure out, just trying to collect as much raw data as possible so that we can analyze it. Art is a huge part of that because of the fact that there is way more data than like any one person can parse. And if you try to take all that data and put it into words, well, I don't know. Words is the same thing as images to me. They're all just lexemes. It's all just ways of communicating ideas. What I mean to say more so is you can't take all the ideas, all the stuff you know, and transmit it to somebody else. You just can't. The closest you can get is art. It's taking stuff they can't know, but you do know, and trying to bridge that gap, you know? And they're never going to understand it exactly the way you do, but if you give them enough, they can do something with it, you know? And if you think back to like cave drawing of like guy with spear, you know, attacking lion, like the hope is, hey, we figured out spears. Maybe I've seen tribes out there. I've seen people out there get eaten because they don't even know about spears. So, you know, if we just leave drawings of guys with spears, maybe people will see that and then they'll try to figure out, they'll be like, wait a minute, you can use that to kill? Like, that human seems to be winning that conflict, you know? What is this thing that they've got there? And then maybe you're not going to come to the same conclusion about what a spear is or what is at your disposal to make it happen. But that little spark of inspiration, that's what art is for, you know, is taking the thing you figured it out and trying to make somebody else figure out something resembling the same thing. Hopefully that answers that question satisfyingly. Last night I had a dream wherein I installed the Harry Potter, and the methods of rationality. Sorry, I misread that. You had a dream where you shilled the Harry Potter and the methods of rationality in one of these stream chats. Is that like a thing? I don't know what that is. I just thought it was funny that you said the Harry Potter. Evolution overrated? I don't know about that. It's pretty good. So I guess what I think the universe is trying to do is evolve. The universe itself does not want to die. It wants to avoid entropy. So it's trying to figure out how to evolve and not die, you know? And I think that, you know, again, that could just be projection. That could just be the way that my brain works, me thinking that, oh, everything must work that way. But it seems to me like the natural impulse of most creatures is to search for data that will keep them alive and avoid data that will kill them. You know. Did we ever figure out how to get that link? The Venmo. I assume I got Venmo'd. But, okay, yeah. Ruining your favorite animals for 10 minutes straight. Cool. All right, let's go watch that.
Most disturbing animal fact based on your favorite animal. Dogs are actually fourth on the list of the world's most dangerous animals because they take 25,000 souls a year. Also, they like squeaky toys because it reminds them of the pain cries of their struggling, dying prey, and that is low-key psychopath energy. People often wear backwards masks to discourage tiger attacks, but it turns out these Roy Keys are catching on to this trick. We're accidentally helping tigers to become better at calling our bluff, and when they do, they're gonna stab Pat on a disrespectful level. If you disturb a mother hedgehog even slightly, she'll buffalo bill her own children and then eat them like buffalo wings. Giraffes have been known to decapitate lions with a well-placed kick, and if they can do that, they can airmail your skull halfway across the Serengeti. Male horses will bully and beat any pregnant mares around them to force them to miscarry, and then proceed to give them the 20-inch flesh thermometer. Elephants have been known to get wasted off of fermented fruit and go on a rampage that is the equivalent of ghost riding a 13,000-pound assault vehicle. In 1974, a group of intoxicated elephants destroyed several buildings and erased 5 people. Comment your favorite animal. Let's see if I can ruin them for you too. The darkest fact about your favorite animal. Sloths have to risk their life every time they poop. They only drop the kids off once a week, so when they do, it can be a third of their body weight. Not only is it like birthing an anal baby, half of sloth deaths are a result of them getting clapped while dropping deuces like Elvis. You should never kiss your bearded dragon because they can be a major source of salmonella, and you won't know they have it until they give it to you. If these guys go extinct, it'll be because of cheese. There's 2 cheese factories in Longtown National Park, and the yak and cows that supply it outcompete them so badly that they end up starving. And if that doesn't happen, they can get ripped apart by farmers' dogs. The soft-shelled turtle will bite and refuse to let go. One confused demands love noodle for a worm, clamped down on it, and refused to release its vice grip for several minutes. The peacock's biggest flex is also its greatest downfall, because looking like a carnival parade in a jungle is the best way for this to happen. There's so many more females than males because males usually get killed trying to impress them. They can also be vicious. One killed a man in Thailand after slashing him with his claws and putting him in a coma. When times get tough, the red fox will cannibalize its own babies. Since platyvenom is stronger than morphine, it can cause you pain for weeks, even months, and no amount of Robitussin will get you right. The most disturbing fact about your favorite animal. Penguins have no rules. They'll assault females, underage chicks, and even the dead homies with zero hesitation. Even a dead penguin lying with its eyes half open could be a victim of the tuxedo chicken's depravity. Every possible sex crime they committed. Cats are impulsive killing machines that are one of the few animals that take lives for fun. Meaning if you put them in the wild, these stat-padding sociopaths would squad wipe entire species. Male red squirrels are vicious baby-killing cannibals that'll murk entire families just so they can be the one to replace one of the few animal chicken's depravity. Every possible sex crime they committed. Cats are impulsive killing machines that are one of the few animals that take lives for fun. Meaning if you put them in the wild, these stat-padding sociopaths would squad wipe entire species.
And that is why I kin the cat.
Male red squirrels are vicious baby-killing cannibals that'll murk entire families just so they can be the one to replace them. Koalas sleep 18 to 22 hours a day. While they're awake, they spend what little energy they have cosbying each other and spreading a devastating form of chlamydia, because to a koala, consent is a social construct and they do not live in a society. Lionesses usually have multiple cubs, so she only has one. She'll return, ship it back to the heavens, and try again. And just so the resources don't go to waste, she'll probably eat it. Since Simba was an only child, that's probably how that movie would have ended. Dolphins are sadistic, bullying water Weinsteins that torture and maim for fun, but that's not the disturbing fact. The disturbing part is that they're basically the humans of the sea. Ain't that some Comment your favorite animal so I can ruin them for you too. Animal facts that you're not going to believe until you Google it. Tiger legs are so strong they can remain standing even after retiring from life. I mean dead. They can stand while dead. If they weren't metal before, they're just disrespectful now. Koala fingerprints are virtually identical to that of a human's, so much so that they can confuse investigators at a crime scene. Which means in the entire history of mankind, there has to have been at least one person that lost their freedom because a koala framed them. Probably not, but it's possible. You don't want to eat ice in Antarctica. 3% of the ice in the glaciers is penguin pee. Unless you believe you can fly and you're into that. Frogs are physically incapable of vomiting.
Pretty high.
If they try to, they basically spit their entire stomachs out of their mouth. Basically, its stomach will get pulled inside out and dangled from its mouth. Facts that you're not going to believe until you Google it. Chimpanzees in Uganda have been known to get turned off alcohol from breweries and proceed to kidnap and eat human babies. Because for some reason, chimpanzees will confuse human children with the red colobus, which is one of their favorite things to eat. If you see giraffes getting freaky, there's a 90% chance it's between 2 guys. Although I assume some of this is consensual,
yeah.
most of the time it's an older giraffe trying to assert his authority on a younger giraffe male, like a long-necked
Oh,
Sandusky.
well,
Giraffes are very gay, and
never
if they had
mind.
Twitter, half of them would get canceled for grooming. This crab can growl, and they do it by using the teeth in their stomach. Basically, they grind the teeth in their stomachs to create a sound that intimidates predators and enemies. They're called ghost crabs because they can blend perfectly in the sand. If an alligator and a manatee pull up on each other underwater, the alligator will give the manatee the right of way. The manatee will gently bump and nudge the gator, and the overgrown murder gecko that strikes fear in the hearts of anyone that isn't in Florida politely moves out the way. Alligators have no regard for human life, but they do care about the sea potato, most disrespectful acts of nature. When young bull elephants are angry, they emasculate rhinos.
What
I
the
don't know where
fuck?
they got this behavior from, but this is one of the most brutal acts of degradation my two eyes have ever seen. You can't see it, but if you look into the rhino's soul sap eyes,
Holy
you can tell that
fucking
this is
shit.
the first time he's been backdoored, and it won't be the last. The macaque will follow the giant
God
purple squirrel so they
damn,
can lead him
what
to the
the
coveted
fuck?
jackfruit. They repay this gesture by open hand slapping the squirrel dead in the face. These monkeys use a 5-fingered vibe check to get the squirrels to run off so they can steal the fruit for themselves. And the purple squirrel, who just got pocket checked out of his own fruit, only gets what remains the monkey leaves behind. Like the tax system, but with hands. Hippos have by far one of the most disrespectful flexes in nature. To impress females and embarrass rival males, the hippo will helicopter their tails and proceed to projectile shit all over the place. Man's literally competition. Because in hippo society, machine gunning the pasty fermented grass you ate last night is the best way to impress the glories of the world.
Holy
The female
shit.
will return the favor by dropping a deuce on the head of the guy she's flirting with.
Oh my
There are
God.
some things in the world that need to be shamed, and this is at the
What
top
the
of the list.
fuck?
Darkest fact about the cutest animals. Sea otters will 50 shades baby seals with a capital R. This non-consensual BDSM ritual involves the otter mauling the seal pup's face, just like they do to females, because this is the look of a furry Cosby. The mother tamarin will erase her own baby if she
Okay.
thinks it's a lost cause. This
Maybe
leads
the
to an
otters
abortion
are
attempt
evil.
involves either yeeting it out of a tree or biting its skull and eating part of its brain. If an emperor penguin loses her chick, she'll kidnap any unaccompanied minors and raise it as her own. For about 2 days. Because in a couple days or even a few hours, she'll get bored and abandon the chick to expire in the air-conditioned cemetery they call home. The pufferfish is toxic enough to put 30 men in headlines, and there's no antidote. If one catches you slipping, your only option is to get right with the higher being of your choice before you choke on your own vomit or your heart decides to retire. Hamsters will hibernate when they get cold, which leads them to get buried alive by stupid children that don't know any better. Also, they can be baby-killing cannibals. Speaking of F them kids, the coot will brutally delete its own children if they ask for food too often. Not even kidding, once they get tired of hearing the chicks beg for food, they snap their necks. They just wake up one day and choose spawn wipe. Here's some animals that you did not know were cannibals. Prairie dogs will delete the babies of their relatives to lower the competition, which I guess is fine. But these prairie puppies take it a step further by eating the children they just spawn wiped. Mother hedgehogs will make a pack out of the pincushion she calls children. They do this when they sense a disturbance, which is a little bit of an exaggeration. They go from 0 to life sentence if they don't like the weather. This one's actually kind of sad. Polar bears will cannibalize each other, and it's low-key our fault. Because climate change isn't opt to polar bears, they wake up and decide to smoke polar packs. But for real though, it's actually a problem, because they usually go after cubs. Like, there are pictures of polar bears holding disembodied cub heads, and I'm not going to show you, but just know they're out there. Ladybugs are also on that type of time. The first ones to hatch will immediately eat the eggs of their unborn siblings. Their first day of life, they stat pad spawn kills. And it's actually the ladybugs that put their own siblings on shirts that develop faster, so nature actually rewards this psychopath behavior. Sea lions are just grizzly bears
nature
with a
always
faster swim
rewards
time.
psychopath
Male sea lions have
behavior,
been seen erasing and eating seal pups for no reason at all. The pup was minding his day-old business, and the male literally had nothing to gain, but he woke up on Casey Anthony time. Why birds are the spawn of Satan in 60 seconds. The strike will butcher and impale animals and store multiple corpse kebabs like a feathery buffalo bill. This bird, whose name I can't say because of guidelines, will bash open the skulls of birds and bats and eat the brains. The common cuckoo will lay eggs in another bird's nest and use the threat of gang violence to force them to raise her chicks. When the chick hatches, it stat pads homicides by eating the other eggs out of the nest. And yes, this is where the word cuck comes from. Ducks are violent and occasional gang rapists with a silent G and evolved the corkscrew phallus to help them become better sex offenders. Most eagle chicks will straight up abort their younger siblings while their parent watches in sick sadistic pleasure. Magpies are somehow the only thing that can strike fears in the heart of Aussies. If you step in its hood, they'll wage war on your face with devastating results, and they carry grudges. Ostriches and emus have been known to try to flirt and mate with their human caretakers. Penguins are unfaithful, kidnapping necrophiliac feather Weinsteins that'll literally hump anything, including the disembodied frozen head of a dead penguin. And I'm not kidding, it actually happened. A man once took a picture of a cassowary and proceeded to kick him off a cliff. Eagles will cannibalize or straight up abandon and leave their chicks to become a statistic if they think they're a lost cause. Birds are feathery hellspawns that need a morality buff. Birds are feathery air devils, part 2. The marabou stork is 5 feet tall and has been known to soul strike small children that get too close. Golden eagles will yeet goats off cliffs and make them fall to a terrifying bone-shattering game over and then feed on their mangled corpse. Ducks don't need their day to be alive to get lucky. The Eleanor's falcons will abort the babies of its same species neighbor and then proceed to feed them to its own chicks like a Casey Anthony cannibal. Some songbirds will force their chicks out of the nest before they can fly and even refuse to feed them. And it's not like they can dump them at a state college for 4 years. They just throw them to the real world and hope for the best. The field fare will projectile Arby's No. 9 special any animal that gets too close to its nest, and they low-key have aimbot. This liquid-ass salt is corrosive enough to eat at the waterproof coating of birds' feathers and ruin your day. Crows can't tell the difference between a graveyard and a brothel because they conduct themselves in the exact same way. And yes, that is my cute way of saying they violate corpses. Pelicans will shove anything that fits down their gullet, including pigeons, ducks, and a very confused cat. Pelicans have no soul, they're just trash compactors with wings, and you can tell Hank Green I said that. Here are some birds you didn't know could catch bodies. A mute swan pulled up on a man in a kayak and pressed him until he fell in the water. The pissed off pond pigeon kept applying pressure until the poor man drowned. I should probably mention that this happened in Chicago. Florida has gators the size of U-Hauls, and Chicago has feathery gangbangers. A man in Thailand was feeding his 4 peacocks when one of the rainbow chickens snapped and turned on him. It mauled him, and if you're wondering how, this is how. He got faded so badly that the peacock caused a blood clot in his brain, which put him in a coma from which he never woke up from. And zoos just let this homicidal drag turkey walk around unchecked, so it's only a matter of time before history repeats itself. In a country with murder lizards, roid rabbits, and eschees, it's the only physical thing Australians are afraid of. And for good reason, because a magpie once selected violence on a man that was just minding his business on his bike. The flying black Air Force made him crash and hit his head, instantly putting him out. A man working in an illegal chicken fight got murked by one of his fighters. A male chicken, called a cock, had razor blades around his legs and proceeded to fatally vibe check him. Not only did he get put in the paper, he is now forever known as the man that got clapped to death by an angry cock.
Absolutely deserved on that guy. All right. Thank you for the 6, whatever those things are called, Iden Gold Rear. Can you watch this video, MV Mac 10? Hopefully this isn't copyright. Hopefully not going to be a copyright problem. I like it so far. Ooh. Alright, this will definitely be a copyright problem if I don't skip through it a bit, but I like this. It seems a little one note. But I like it. I like this. This is my type of hyper pop. Just spaz the fuck out, blown out, loud, ridiculous, having a good time with it, you know. The auto-tune's all the fuck over the place. It's like prof level spazzing the fuck out. So I appreciate that. He sounds weird as fuck too. This guy's definitely got a distinct voice. Or this person, I guess. I don't want to assume anything. I like this whole aesthetic that they've got going too. I'm about to spice, can we cup the butt? Down south the cold, but that's what I'm talking. Definitely like beats that make me want to cipher on them for sure. All beats I would for sure use myself if I had the opportunity. I like this. And that voice isn't as good, but I'm sure it's fine. June with another 199. Song request 5-star hotel, Parallel Deserts. Okay, back to where we were. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. That is very abrasive. Jesus Christ. Ooh, yeah, alright. This part. Yo, I'm an ice pick coming for your brain like an ice pick. Yeah, hey. When I hit, it's right up in your tin lip. Pick in your brain, gotta get you stick down. I think I really like the hip hop part, but the rest of it's a little much for me. I don't listen to a lot of music that's just like raw intensity. I listen to music that is like about cutting through that more so. Like when I rap, the intent is not that you should feel like you are bowled down by what I'm doing. You are supposed to be rapping with me. You're supposed to be saying the same things I'm saying. Like I write my songs with the expectations that, it will be empowering for anybody who sings it. You'll feel like, ah, yes, I am this badass, or these are my feelings. So it helps you to kind of alleviate, like the sound may be intense, but the fact that you're overcoming the intensity through the lyrics, So with this, I feel like it's just beating me over the head with as much intensity as possible, which kind of it just puts me. I don't really know what to do with that. It's like it's so much I can't even dance to it. Like it would be different if it was like a little more groovy. Maybe if I heard it a lot of times, I would get used to it and I'd be able to figure out how to dance to it. But like Skrillex Bangarang is like the most of something like this that I could take, where it's like still kind of like a dance song. Well, I'm sure there are some people who are gonna love this shit in chat. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of sounds like a bunch of rattling and chaos for the most part, and crushed out bass. I'm not the biggest fan of that crushed bass sound either, or the hyper crushed sound. The most recent, like, heavier artist that I found I like is Josiah. I certainly can't play much of this without being a copyright problem, but he did a song with Denzel Curry, which is how I got into it. And then, what song do I want though? I don't want Smoke. Like, they're shouting, and the sounds are intense, but there's a consistent, it feels like you're fighting with them against the beat that's coming at you from all sides. And if you don't die, then you gotta ride on that beat like it's gonna give you meaning to your life. That's the only way to strive. Some shit like that, It's the kind of beat I want to freestyle on, obviously. Need more beats like that. Those are shekels? Oh, yeah. How could I forget? Because Illusion does those too, I think, right? Somebody else pays me in shekel as well, and I've looked into it. What do we do now? I guess I've just been taking requests for the last few minutes, and so I just kind of realized that we just finished all the requests, and I was like, oh, shit, now I'm just standing here. Now I'm just in a garage by myself, pretending that people are here. It actually feels weird realizing, like, I literally don't feel like I'm alone. It's hard for me to feel this, even though I'm standing by myself in this garage. The fact that all of you are there makes it really hard for me to make myself feel alone. Like when I leave the room, I feel like I've left someone in the room, I don't feel like nobody's in there, you know. It's just like, no, there's like 12, 17, however many people are. There's people in there, you know. Rant on Peggy. June with 199. Are you talking about? I assume you're talking about JPEG Mafia. JPEG Mafia is one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, musicians. Period. One of the greatest producer rappers. Definitely the best of my generation. We're about the same age, I think. I can't remember if he's older or younger than me. Actually, hold on. 34. So okay, he's a little older than me. Born in '89. I was 91. Definitely one of the leaders of my generation in my mind. And I feel like I got to him late because I only know about him because of Anthony Fantano reviewing Veteran and giving it an 8 in 2017 or 18, whenever that came out. So, you know, I know he had already been making music in the underground for like a super long time before that. But when Veteran came out and I listened to it, I took me a while to fully wrap my brain around it. But I think like the fact that he self-produced it, that was like a big draw for me to want to keep listening to it. To be like, you really did all this by yourself? Like you somehow. Sarah says, great rapper, incredible producer, terrible poster. I love his Twitter. His Twitter is fucking ridiculous. He's the ultimate, will literally just say a bunch of shit, delete it later, because he knows it's going to be talked about anyways. He's a total chaos agent. He's a real Loki type. And yeah, his music is always about trying to, I would say, like, throw you off, like just constantly throw you out and pull you back in by just unexpected noise, you know, new voices, new sounds, new stuff to take in, weird noises, you know, saying stuff that is just unbelievably out of pocket all the time in the bars, you know, constantly making you question if you actually understand what he's saying, because he will throw in deliberate contradictions and, you know, constantly hit you with the "you think you know me" thing. So like it is basically trying to be as like cryptographic as it could be, but while still feeling very personal. Like he's still kind of just talking about himself. He's not like creating a fictional universe or something like that. It's just like, this is what I'm about, this is what I stand for, but my feelings are really complicated, and I'm not going to like diminish the nuance of what I have to say by trying to create like a consistent you know, image for you viewers. You have to figure out what is my deal, you know. And so with Veteran, like, you know, initially it was the draw of like, well, the first song is just an impeccable banger, impossible to put down. And then the second song is the most like abrasively like challenging to listen to, but also hard as fuck beat, where it's kind of like you kind of have to actively decide, does this go hard, or do I need to skip this track right now, you know, like. And it's a dizzying feeling, but again, it's that feeling of you get pushed out, but then he draws you in, because like you hear the sample and you're like, no, please no, but then he's just the fucking beat sounds so hard under that sample that you can't stop listening to it, you know. And then you get kind of that peaceful part at the end where he really shows off how diverse the tone of that beat can actually be. And then it goes right into Thug Tears, and you're listening to like pen clicking, like 1,000 mile an hour pen clicking right in your ear. It took me a while to be like, to like get through that section of that song. Like I was just like, no, please, why? What is this sound? Every time I play the album for somebody else and I know that part's coming, I'm like, how are they gonna handle the pen clicking bit, you know? But it's like my favorite song on the album. Even with I like the pen clicking, it just takes getting used to, you know. So I feel like Peggy is always challenging you to you know, make a decision about like, is it really worth it for me to put myself through like parsing all of this to decide that it's great? And usually the answer is yes. So you know, eventually I got really into Veteran. Eventually I got into My Heroes Are Cornballs. Eventually I got into LP, you know, and the couple of EPs. And there was a period, probably like just a little under 2 years ago, where like I just was in like a Peggy hole, like listening to nothing but JPEG Mafia for like a month. He's the type of artist who, like, if I find myself in the JPEG Mafia mindset, that's gonna be where I'm at for a while, you know. Um, but my biggest complaint about JPEG is that if you do listen to a lot of his music on repeat like that, a lot of it is very similar. Like, he uses the same drum loop, like it's just the same drum concepts a lot. He uses the same flows a lot. And like there are certain songs that are super different and that keeps it interesting. But like if you lined up all of the songs that kind of sound alike and put them all in like one playlist together, it would be like, oh, that gets tiring quick, you know. But that's just kind of interspersed amid all the other interesting songs. So, but I think that really changed with Scaring the Hose. And that's the first project I've really truly loved all of from him because I'm already a big Danny Brown fan. And Danny Brown is also an artist who, in his case, every song he makes is completely fucking different from the last one. So it's really unpredictable if you're going to like a song or not. It's very case by case with him. And Danny basically explained that the emergence of JPEG Mafia made him think, well, that guy's going to take my job, so I pretty much need to work with that guy, or else he's going to take my place, you know, as like the weird outsider internet rapper. And Danny Brown is actually more of that person than JPEG Mafia, according to both of them. JPEG's like, I just make reference to all this internet stuff because it makes me sound cool, and I'm talking about everything I know. Danny Brown is not doing that. Danny Brown knows all kinds of real deep internet lore shit. And he's like following lolcows and fucking with people in IRC chats and shit. Like he's an actual internet guy who just doesn't talk about that shit in his raps because he's, you know, probably didn't think that that was a good idea until JPEG Mafia started doing it. So, you know, the two of them teaming up just makes perfect sense. They're pretty much the ultimate cyberpunk rap duo. You know, I could not have asked for like a rap release that was going to make me happier to come out last year. Like there's nothing I could imagine being like more hype about than getting a JPEG Mafia Danny Brown album that most importantly stays pretty much hyped up and insane the whole way. Like it never has, because like, you know, JPEG's music by himself is way more sensitive. Danny Brown also tends to get more sensitive. The two of them working together, the album's called Scaring the Hose. It wasn't about getting sensitive, you know, it was the exact opposite. And that's what I wanted. I just wanted 30-minute, you know, nonstop fucking beatdown of dope, danceable, experimental, wild fucking hip hop. And I got it. And now I'll never have to ask them for anything ever again. They can do whatever the fuck they want. I'll enjoy it. I don't care. They did Scaring the Hose. You know, I already in Jesus Forgive Me, I Am a Thought is already like the god tier song. You know, I don't need like a new single from JPEG. We got that. We got Hazard Duty Pay. Like between those two singles, I don't need him to justify himself as a guy who can make and North Calvert. He doesn't need to prove he can make an amazing song. I think he's trying to produce for Ye or something. He was like on a big campaign to try to bully Ye into letting him produce on his next album. So we'll see what comes of that. It seems like Ye at least got in contact with him, but we don't know what's going to happen with it. So it'd be really interesting to hear JPEG Mafia and Ye working together. You know, especially because Ye can't be on his transphobic shit around fucking gender fluid JPEG over there. Don't get bodied by a boy in a motherfucking gown. Where are my grandma hand-me-downs? He produced on Vultures. Oh, I haven't even heard Vultures for the most part. So, what song? I'm not gonna play it on here because I'll definitely get copyright struck for even like a second of that. But I guess I'll look into the JPEG Mafia production on Vultures. Again, I've just been doing requests, so every time I run out of requests, I kind of forget that I am just like here in a room alone. I gotta think of something to do in between. I'm trying to think of a song to karaoke. Maybe sing some shit. I don't know. I feel like I could do some vocalizations. Some Okay. I'm gonna do karaoke until somebody suggests something. I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to chime, reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time. 'Cause at 5 o'clock they take me to the gallows pole. The sands of time for me are running low. Running When the priest come to read me the last rite, I take a look through the bars at the last sights of a world that has gone very wrong for me. Can it be that there's some sort of error on to stop this mounting terror? Is it really the end or some crazy dream? Somebody please tell me that I'm dreaming. It's not easy to stop from screaming, but words escape me when I try to speak. Tears may flow, but why am I crying? After all, I'm not afraid of dying. But I believe that there never is an end. Yeah. 55-second Iron Maiden solo is what it says on the screen there. Anybody got anything that they want me to rant about? If you have it, then you send me a super chat and I will rant about it right after I do this song. Or maybe I'll interrupt the song and I'll do the rant. And then I'll do A little more of the rant, and I'll do some more ranting for you. Because I knew that you wanted a rant when you sent it. When the text blue on the screen, or green, or yellow, or red. If you sent a whole lot of text in your super chat, then I'll read that one up next. As the dogs watch me out in the courtyard, somebody cries from the cell, "God be with you." If there's a God, then why has he let me die? As I walk home, my life just before me, as though the end is near, I'm not sorry. Catch my soul, 'cause it's willing to fly away. Mark my words, believe my soul is on. Don't worry now that I've gone beyond to seek the truth. When you know that your time is close at hand, maybe then you'll begin to understand that down here is just a strange illusion. 2-minute 30-second maiden solo. That is so much maiden solo. I started slipping into a Blind Guardian voice there towards the end. So maybe we'll see what kind of Blind Guardian parody there is. This was somebody's custom cover. Oh, I gotta hit like on that. Good job. The Bard song, Mirror Mirror. Incredible. I don't really know the lyrics to most of this song. June, I will get to that rant I'm not gonna sing this whole song, I just wanna get to the hook. But I'll read that super chat in a second. La 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 la. Far, far beyond the island, we dwelt in shades of twilight, through dread and weary days, through grief and endless pain. It lies unknown. Fuck, I forgot the lyrics there. Hidden gate to save us from the shadow fall. Silence the words of wisdom. I see the end of all. Be aware the storm gets closer. Mirror, mirror on the wall. True hope lies beyond the coast. You're a damn kind, can't you see that the winds will change? Mirror, mirror on the wall. True hope lies beyond the coast. You're a damn kind, can't you see that tomorrow there's insanity? Yeah. Okay. Anyway. June with 499 says, thoughts on unintentional genius. Example, Death Stranding coming out right before COVID. I think there's a level of, I don't think that's as unintentional as it seems in a sense. I think it was very predictable. COVID was a predictable situation. Bill Gates gave a whole fucking seminar about it 5 years before it happened, about what was essentially, he was basically, if you watch that like TED Talk or whatever the fuck with Bill Gates, he's like, this is going to happen. It's like, there's going to be a global pandemic because we are at it, like just the way society is right now, the way that germs are evolving, the way that everything, like there's not enough in place to prevent it. It's definitely going to happen. That was basically, the only thing that's ever going to make the world at large care enough about something to really take measures about it is if they've already felt the effects of it. So, yeah, we knew there was going to be a global pandemic. Everybody smart knew. In the same way that Hideo Kojima back in fucking 2001 or whatever the fuck predicted memes and the effect they were going to have. And he's literally using the word memes. We didn't use the word memes back then. That wasn't a thing. Nobody knew what a meme was before 2006. Except on like 4chan. And even then, the era when they were using the word meme in like casually in fucking Metal Gear Solid 2, just unfathomably predictive. But it also could have been causal. It could be that that word being in that game and that people who use the internet playing that game taught them that word, and so that's the word we latched onto. So, you know, with Death Stranding, on some level, I think that Hideo Kojima was like, this is definitely going to happen. There's definitely going to be, you know, an event soon that's going to feel like this, and I'm going to show people how I think they can navigate it. And that's why he made the game. And then, you know, it happens. But I think you can find tons and tons of art that's like this. And like, you know, when people talk about The Simpsons making predictions, it's like, yeah, a lot of that's because The Simpsons writers just knew shit. You know, Family Guy's done the same thing where like they've commented on celebrity gossip and stuff where like they're just saying they're just making these jokes because they heard this shit from people who probably know, you know. But until it becomes a public spectacle, until it becomes a court case or whatever, it's just a joke, you know. But then you look at it in retrospect, like, you know, the idea, and again, some of it's predictive, like the idea that Arnold Schwarzenegger would end up in government. It's like there's got to be, on some level, he was already talking about it, and people thought it would happen, and then it did happen. So it, you know, and like people saying that it might just doubles down the possibility that it does, you know. So yeah, I think if anything, I would warn people about making like too many predictions too glibly, because you might think it's funny to be like, oh, in 20 years it's going to be Donald Trump as president, you know, like in the 80s or whatever. But if you keep saying that and then it happens, it's like, yeah, you said it was, you kept saying it was going to happen. Like, I don't know what you fucking think if you had kept saying it would never happen, maybe it would have never happened, you know. But that's not what you did you? You kept joking about how it's definitely going to happen until people just said, oh, really? That's a thing we can do? All right, let's just do that then, you know. Just got to be careful. Or watch what you wish for, you know. Yeah, Trump had been trying to become president since the 80s, and same with fucking Biden. Like the 80s, I think, was his first run. Maybe. It might have even been his second run. Biden made like 3 runs at presidency. You know, Trump tried to become a candidate for the Republican Party multiple times. It's, I mean, I've already talked about, if you go listen to all my, you know, previous streams where I ranted about old people and how there's only so many recognizable faces left amongst a generation that pretty much holds all the power and makes all the decisions in society. And as soon as they're all dead, it's going to be a real free-for-all of who is considered our new gods, you know? Who ends up taking the place of all these fogies that we've had running culture. Kendrick Lamar, probably. we just elect him president. I don't think he wants to be president. That sounds like a fucking hassle he would not want to deal with. I think you have to be kind of a psychopath to want to be president. But I also mean that as a compliment to any of the people who I know that want to be president. Like, I either am telling you that you're not enough of a psychopath for me to think you're going to be president, or that I appreciate your psychopathy because we need a president. You know, and it has to be somebody. Well, I don't know. Maybe we don't need a president, but maybe you can change my mind about that. I'm going to play a video while I go to the bathroom. I guess I'm going to play one of my music videos. Yeah, we'll play my own content. Fuck everybody else's content. I'll just leave the album going until I get back.
Going down, man, I've only gotten stupider. Women come for Venus, man, for Mars and not for Jupiter. Cupid let me borrow 7 arrows and I lose them all. Sorrow unbecoming, so I stop the fall, start the crawl. Red sparrow on the wind, this harrowing sun left me so appalled. Anyone could buy them all now. It's Gordon, Barn, and Straw, but urban textures, fixtures measured in the human population. Empty stations built to house an empty nation. Planet Earth is cursed versus summon demons. Evil is the mission and I'm scheming, plotting how to get more rotten. Miss it to your brain and convince you that you're insane. Planet Hearses, curse of verses on the demons. Evil is the mission and I'm scheming. Plotting how to get my rotten missive into your brain and convince you that you're insane. I'm the bane of your existence because I'm so convincing. My arguments intensive, my heat got water hissing. I'm plain and fucking brilliant, beloved by the millions, hated by the billions. My pain become a business. My lane is always open, so I always use my speed. And my heart is always open, so I find what I need. I'm the right thing at the right time when you need to recline with the feelings sublime, with the spirit divine. Planet Hearses, curse of verses, summon demons. Evil is the mission and I'm scheming. Plotting how to get my rotten missive into your brain and convince you that you're insane. Planet Hearses, curse of verses, summon demons. Evil is the mission and I'm scheming. Plotting how to get my rotten missive into your brain and convince you that you're insane. You're insane. You're insane. You know. You're insane. You're insane. You know. You're insane. You're insane. You're insane. She on top, but she's still my shawty. Fell on the boat, she scored that 40. Oh, me, let me get the air and throw me. Oh, me, if you got a package, show me. Roll me, that's a lot of baggage and hold it. Leave it by the trash, give a stack this moldy. Roll me, all up on the lid with the homie. And I give a head, cause I know you about me. Roll me, 50 plus like a snoop, while you do me, doggy style. 50 cross like a booty, grew into the idle wild. Oh, we out and out of wild, smoking on some wild ground weed on the scene. You drink and make a loud sound, waking up the whole town, rolling out the ghost town. Turning up the whole sound, jumping down the ground round. I'm a narrow catch up, fucking got me messed up. She on top, but she's still my shawty. Fell on the ball, she's got that 40. Homie, let me get the air and throw me. Oh me, if you got a package, show me. Whoa me, that's a lot of baggage and hold it. Leave it by the trash, gonna stack this molded. Roll me, all over the land with the homie. And I give a heck, cause I know help out. Little bit of intro on this one. Just kidding. Here come the worst thing to happen in rap since bitch hero. Don't feel the snow, this is absolute zero. The hero of the villain, somehow you're fucking chillin'. You're by the stove grilling, just let me cook. Got my teeth all crook, got my eyes all red. Play by no one's book, it's all in my head. Level like a brook, think until I'm bred. I am not a crook like the bad man said. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Ay, ay. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Ay, ay. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Oh. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Ay, I'm a swaggin', dragging, also I'm hagging, also I'm bragging. Used to be a has-been grabbing dollars by the pound, by the yen, by the shekel, fill a wagon. All the grain I rake when I heckle, but I'm bagging. $50,000, I imagine a month when I bet. On my hunch, I'm a fag bitch queen, and I carry that green, so you know that I mean when I sing, I'm gagging. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Ay, ay. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Ay, ay. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Ay, ay. They hate cause I'm a chick with a dick, but they love me when it's all on their lips. Oh! I've been cruising along this night. When I get hungry, I just bite. Take what it takes to stay alive and give it back to all my guys and gals and non-binaries.
Speaking of when I get hungry, I just bite.
Before I make it a fight, when I swipe, I take it all with me. Hands so sticky, how'd I end up with this beat? Can't keep the things, so I keep shit in house where I make history. Find me at Cumberland Gap in a dress and a sun hat, hiking up and down the pass or in the Prius doing dabs. Find me at Cumberland Gap in a dress and a sun hat, hiking up and down the pass or in the Prius doing dabs. Find me at Cumberland Gap in a dress and a sun hat, hiking up and down the pass or in the Prius doing dabs. Find me at Cumberland Gap in a dress and a sun hat, hiking up and down the pass or in the Prius doing dabs.
Airweight, I've been in the experimental rap phase of being trans for the whole time. For 10 years.
Find a little lady in the shade of the park and say, hey, Nina, let's stay till dark. Find a little lady in the shade in the park and say, hey, Nina, let's stay till dark. Find a little lady in the shade in the park and say, hey, Nina, let's stay till dark. Find a little lady in the shade in the park and say, hey, Nina, let's but stay till dark. Find me at Cumberland Gap in a dress and a sun hat, hiking up and down the pass or in the Prius doing dirt.
For real. Where the good die young, but the greats never die. You listen to one of the greatest right now. What? Lord willing, anyway. It's the trial.
Tetragrammaton with the hammer on, oh it's grammar wrong, clutching stammer jaw, I get up and out the con, bring her up the Ragnarok, picture shirtless leg is dripping from the mouth, throw your flannels off. Grab a feather, walk into the labyrinth, giant split, listen to the pithy shit that others spit. Heard it on mixing, it's tricks and golden witch, shut your surface with another hit. Malevolent to the opposition, virulent, benevolent to my homies, to my benefit. Not heaven sent, this the deep dark terror shit that marks the skin, spilling the blood within. Yeah. Obstinate blows for you opulent hoes. Consummate bro with the cavalcade bros. Cattle prop vocabulary, baby, I'm a herder. Thought you heard the word, but I tell you my...
So, wait. I just heard a door open. I was gonna say, for everybody watching the video, I'm gonna read you some stuff in the chat that I'm gonna respond to, so I think this is interesting. Arrowwood said, I can't believe Trixie is finally in the experimental EP phase of being trans. Bobby said, I don't know, she made an EP that wasn't experimental, LMFAO. And then I said, like, I've been in that phase for the whole time. And then Gary always said, a cool prediction would have been clocking Trixie as an egg just from hearing her music 10 years ago. And that got me thinking, what are my oldest sus bars? Like, not just funny gay lyrics, but like, I want to be a girl type lyrics. I'm gonna figure out. Let's see. Thinking about the lyrics of these songs. I passed them. That ass is so clean you could eat off of it is not necessarily trans bars. Fuck slingshots. Weird boner. Song about trains, not trans. No, almost. No, nothing on this is gonna be. Let's see.
Blessed with intelligence, that's why I live without limits. And when I spit, you listening to hear the lesson set within my manic bits of inspiration. Got the stations and the pens, pins and needles in my skin and driven stakes before my hands. I never was and no will never ever be the man. I'm a super villain killer, cleverly concealing plans. I'm the evil voice inside your head that wants you to advance. Realize all of your friends are dead as you exit the trance. I've never had an advance or a budget, but I've got a huge catalog because fuck it, I can rap better broke than you can with money. I'm the fucking bee, they come to me to get the honey. Funny how I body everyone on every track. I feature creature from the Black Lagoon with a box of goon and a Bluetooth speaker. Double feature with my other personality. Finish him as far as the fatality. She's a devout rhyme slanter. She bout the banter. No account for candor. No amount of slander could be daunting to the dancer. Prancer in the fields wearing zero shields. Hero when revealed. Bruce Banana.
I feel like Rotten is definitely some heavy body dysmorphia bars. And not necessarily full-blown trans, but just like intensely body dysmorphic bars. And that was like my first real serious rap song that I released.
Need help, then call me maybe. Sleep well and skip the
I'm not sure, but I know the first one I wrote to be explicitly a trans song is Tunneling. Tunneling is my first explicit trans song. I'll read the lyrics. You not gonna kill my left brain, bitch. Got much more to feel. I'm not saying switch. I'm not here to make sense for some normies. That's for the cash flow. This for the glory. Tunneling, 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 tunneling. Down with the diglets deep in the muck. Gonna build us a world of the tight hell. Fuck sweet. Tunneling, 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 tunneling. New type city that's carnivus. I'll be what I want. No system cucks. Just pretty little lesbos. Lolly in the brain. No hang-ups in the pleasure room. We party with the strange. It's all the fear and loathing you could ever bathe in. Satan on the telephone said I'm her favorite. Blackout drunk in a bathroom stall with a dick in her mouth coming through the wall, just drowning, guzzling all that trauma. Give her love you can disarm her. Not gonna come through Zanza shrooms. Meditate, puts it all on you. Way too fucked for a human zoo. Get me out of a comfortable. Chauvinist thinking, acting cute makes a more woman. Fuck you too. I grew this beard to pick up the ladies. Pussy tripping out all my crazy. Now watch me work. Watch me work. Cunt boys ain't even trying to twerk, bitch. Watch me work. Watch me work. Fuck boys ain't seen a pussy squirt. Now watch me work. Watch me work. Cunt boys ain't even trying to twerk, bitch. Watch me work. Watch me work. Fuck boys ain't seen a pussy squirt. I'm tunneling, 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 tunneling. Plunge in the clunge, I'll binge in a minge. I'll slop on a cunt, tongue punch on the fringe. I'm tunneling, 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 tunneling. Not what you got could not comprehend this shit if I fisted your brain with a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 2. Coming for the crew and get beamed with the tachyon. I'ma wear the strap on, filling out your whole front. You'll be crying no more. Please just let me pass on. Buttered up buns when you strut it up. Huns got nutted up, hung like damn. I want some I offered. Not gonna lie, you mine, so it won't be nice till you done that time. I'm selling ass for heroin. Wanna be the heroine, but nothing worth the heroin. Barreling past it with 95 down 95. Just let me die. Tried to cry, but tears would dry for 20 years. A twisted mind, I finally found a way to show it. Feed the beast on feeding, growing. Hosts are mad that I ain't sadder. Said I had a shorter ladder. Yeah, but mine ain't had no bars until I built them out of scars. Climbing down this just to show off so others could see what's going on inside the mental. Face display is busted, so I got to play it. Tunneling, 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 tunneling. Deep to the back, inside the place where the darkest, dankest hide. I'm tunneling, 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 tunneling. Half made it halfway before they died, but I'm gonna dig till the treasure's mine. I'm tunneling, 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 All right, what are y'all talking about in here? What is the sarcophagus mannequin thing? That's the shame lady from Game of Thrones, made out of junk mail. Her arms have fallen off, though. They need to be taped back on. She's 10 feet tall. Rap Moment's still one of my faves, but this new EP has some bangers. Rap Moments have been deep into the night. If you wanna smoke weed, then give me a light. That's not the lyrics. I just put that one back out on Rescues and Rarities, didn't I? Yeah, track 20. Play that while I read back through the chat. Rap Moments have been deep into the night. If you wanna stay, yeah.
Oh, Bernie, are you burning out there?
You smell burning? That's concerning. My mom just came in here and said she smells burnt. I have been out here for 2 hours at least, so. Waves at Dawn has some bars that are. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Waves at Dawn. Hold up. Let's go see what I say in that song. Because that's actually even older than all the other songs on Bedroom Bedrock. It's like a bonus track originally, kind of. Let's see. Livelihood ain't got much to do with it. Happiness bobs and weaves like a buoy at sea. I concede that it helps to be free, but the feelings of entrapment are real. I can only feel what I'm made to feel. I can only be as much as what I am. Call me what you will. Review me as you see fit. I'll admit to any accusation. The vacation took a bitter turn into better art. Ooh, that's a good-ass bar. The truth in my heart is that I want to get a better start. I don't have much in the way of confidant, but there's no affront to the way the lyrics flow by font. 20 beers may not yet be enough. 20 waves might take me out too far. I don't want to drown, but I want to float here forever. Don't take me off the tether. Maybe I'm posing or maybe I'm chosen. Maybe this ocean is truly frozen. I don't feel movement, but I've traveled far. I don't feel motivated here at the start. I can't take the steps to advise. I can't take accurate account of life. I'm here, deep off the trench, off the shore. I barely know where I am anymore. You said swim, don't float along forever. I said please don't take me off the tether. I only truly fear sinking. I can't deal with the thinking. It's mostly about like feeling a lack of a sense of purpose and like a reason to swim, but also not wanting to drown. So begging to be kept on the tether. This was at a period when I was still living at home and wasn't like really making money doing. I guess I was into my career at this point, but I still felt like I wasn't ready to leave home and like do all that type of shit. And I wasn't making that much money yet until. Like, by the time I finished working on this album, I had started up being a vlogger, and so that's why in Final Stretch I say, what I spit, pull about as much in a month as what I was worth in Rotten. And in Rotten, I say, I have $6,000 and don't know what I want to own. I'm grown. So I went from having $6,000 in the bank to making $6,000 a month in between writing Rotten and Final Stretch, like 3 or 4 months apart from one another. And Waves at Dawn had been like a bit before that. So that was me really feeling like, I don't know, I still kind of feel trapped. I still kind of feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I just want to float here. Scion Caesar with $5 says, Music Rec, Nova Gang, Add Zoomer Rap, Best, or ADT Zoomer Rap, Best Songs, Felix Jungle, Mama Don't Want No Cruff, Monkey Quest, Crayola, and Wednesday. All right, well, we'll try out Mama Don't Want No Cruff, because that's a hell of a name right there. That's something I would definitely click on. Again, I'm going to be skipping through this just because I don't want to cause copyright problems. Probably this stream will get demonetized anyways. I just don't want it to get blocked. Oh, this has 946 views. This probably will not get me taken down. Ooh. What the fuck? This is fucking lifting. What the... Okay. I like that a lot. Ooh, what the fuck are these noises? It just fades out too. That's so fucking weird. How is this somehow feels loud and quiet at the same time? It's really fucking with my mind. Just need a little hit, little more. It's that Mom is in the other room flow, but the mixing is blasted. It's pretty great TBH. That's fucking funny. Hey, a lot of my friends got the Mom is in the other room flow. My mom is actually in the other room. But luckily the walls of this garage are fairly thick. So I can be ratchet and loud out here. Again, fucking lifted. Oh, for some reason my internet decided to stop playing the video. I don't know why that is. No idea why. Whatever. I hope the stream is still going healthily. Let me go ahead and turn off Wi-Fi just to be on the safe side. This Wi-Fi tends to run like fucking dog shit in this house, so you know. Do I want to play more Nova Gang? Let me know if y'all want to check in with that schizophrenic guy I discovered last night. He's made more videos since then. I might try to keep up with him because I kind of like his content. Yeah, it says, yeah, my internet's just being a fucky little bitch right now. Well, that's obnoxious. I guess I'm not doing any more YouTube stuff, so hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to what is known as watching a YouTube video stream. I feel like I might want to wrap this one up soon and then restart it shortly thereafter. Let's do that. Let's call this one here. We'll do another stream in a bit. All right. Later.